Hey, my pretties, it's the Lion Queen. So, a little bit of a topic that I've been wanting to, discuss on here for so long. I just been super busy with, bunch of stuff, and now is a good time for me to express my interest, but not just that, but also express, a topic that I've been meaning to talk about for some time, and that is pregnancy in children's cartoons and movies, or also known as TV shows and movies that are for aimed for children. Now, TV shows when it comes for children and movies are always amazing to me. You never know what they're actually going to, have in store until you see a certain episode or a certain TV movie. But taking the fact that this topic is in this channel, I thought I would go ahead and, maybe just talk about, what I personally think of it. So, if you guys hear that in the background, that is just my brother. So, I do apologize for that, but I have my bedroom door closed so people can hear me and not hear what's going on in the background. So, when it comes to pregnancy in cartoons, like pregnancy in movies or TV shows that are aimed for kids, you don't get to see that very often because it's very rare. It's really rare you get to see that. And why is that the case, you may be asking? Well, the main reason is because it's a, not really a suggestive subject matter, but it is just a subject matter that kids will not understand. It is something that kids will not get it, but adults would obviously get it because they honestly know what their children are watching. So, yeah. But when it comes to TV shows or movies that involve pregnancy, like sometimes they'll have a certain plot of a certain episode or movie, or episodes, depending on if there's more episodes, involving a character going to have a child or a pregnant character in in a sense, if you guys get where I'm coming from. Now, I know the first pregnant character I ever saw was Pebbles Flintstone from Holly Rockabye Baby. If you guys remember, I did a review on that on Shadows and Pretties, and I did explain that you don't really get to see pregnancy often in characters, in TV shows or movies, especially in the 90s. You don't see that very often in the 90s. And even then, though, you don't really get to see them too often. But the one exception I can definitely say that they did tackle, a certain TV show tackled the subject matter of pregnancy well, that would have to be Sesame Street. Yes, I know Sesame Street has tackled pregnancy subject matter a few times, actually. I mean, there was a few pregnant characters in Sesame Street, like Maria. Before Maria had Gabby, she was pregnant throughout in season 20 in a couple episodes, which I can't honestly remember how many episodes she was pregnant in, but you do get to see her pregnancy progress as, time went on, which honestly I have to say that Sesame Street did a really good job at handling the subject matter of pregnancy well. And they have done a few other episodes where it involves a character going to have a child. Like, for example, they did one with Slimy Me's mom having a baby. But I mean, I'm surprised that they actually have done this more than once. Because with Sesame Street, they do a lot of stuff. And sometimes they do weird stuff too. Like, Sesame Street does a lot of weird things at times. I mean, honestly, kids will not understand the pregnancy aspect or anything like that because they don't know it, but adults would definitely get what this show is aiming for. But most of the time, you don't really get to see pregnancy in cartoon characters or anything like that. But another movie example that is aimed for kids, but also adults as well, and that is Ice Age. If you remember Dawn of the Dinosaurs, that was a movie where Ellie was pregnant in that one. And she gave birth to her daughter Peaches in the world of dinosaurs. Now, of course, you do see Ellie giving birth at the time while Diego is trying to protect her, and and Manny's trying to, keep the dinosaurs away. I mean, you don't really get to see that in kids shows, but when I saw Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs back in 2009, I found this a really great treat because, with Ice Age and, they do a lot of humorous stuff. And with cartoons, though, you don't really get to see pregnant characters. Not very often. I mean, there were a few instances where you get to see, a certain character saying, "Hey, my husband and I are going to have a baby." You know, you get to hear that. And sometimes you get to see their pregnant tummies. Like, there's a few instances where you get to see them pregnant, like Pebbles Flintstone, for example. And she was pregnant. In Holly Rockabye Baby, there you get to see Maria pregnant in Sesame Street. But most of the time, the pregnancy is just really hidden, or the pregnant character doesn't show up very often while pregnant until much later. And this is the common case with TV shows and movies because you don't really get to see, pregnant characters giving birth. It's done off screen, so then that way, because I think they're kind of hesitant to show that in kids' films and TV shows because they honestly don't even know how kids would react or anything like that because kids will not understand what that aspect is. Kids will not understand. But one of the shows I remember they did a movie where a pregnant character is giving birth. Besides Ice Age, they did that with Rugrats the movie. If you remember Dee Dee and Stu Pickles, they have a son named Tommy Pickles, but they after they had Tommy Pickles in the Rugrats movie, they had Tommy's little brother named Dill. So honestly, I definitely have to say for myself that this is rare you get to see pregnancy in, cartoons, especially in the 90s. You don't really get to see that too often in the 90s, but, you do get to see, maybe a glimpse of it, and or you may just hear saying, oh, that character's having a baby or something like that. You do get to hear that, but you sometimes don't really get that all the time. But I mean, if you look at a lot of TV shows nowadays, I think some of the writers are kind of hesitant to show pregnancy because they honestly weren't sure how the certain show or movie is going to handle that subject very well. Ice Age, they handled it very well because Ice Age is not only just a kids movie, but it's something that adults can really enjoy. And I think that is brings us something. Now, I do remember seeing a few other pregnant characters in TV shows when I was a kid growing up, but didn't really understand it at the time. But, when I got older, I became more wiser as to, what it is. I mean, I'm still learning today. I'm like in my 20s. I'm still learning today. Even there's some stuff that I may not know. But, another pregnant character I do remember seeing in a certain TV show was Franklin. If you guys remember that TV show with the turtle named Franklin who goes on adventures, yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Apparently, Mrs. Turtle is pregnant in a Franklin special called Franklin and the Green Knight. And you do get to see her pregnant. I mean, she doesn't look pregnant, but at the same time, she does look pregnant, but it's kind of odd since turtles usually lay eggs, but this one was a live child inside her. Honestly, I honestly thought that concept was a little bit weird since turtles usually lay eggs, but at the same time, you don't really know because, with cartoons, they're a mystery, and this is the same with TV shows and specials. They're just a mystery to us. We don't really know how they work. But I do remember, when if it comes to pregnant characters about to have a child or going to labor, you don't really see that too often either. You saw that in Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs when Ellie was going into labor. You see a bit of it when Mrs. Turtle was going to have Franklin's baby sister named Harriet. You also do get to see Maria being in labor when she was going to have her and Luis's child. But other than that, this is very rare to see that as well. because they're honestly, because the writers and the people who produce certain shows and movies, they're honestly really hesitant because they don't even know how well a certain show is going to handle the subject matter. But if you look at Sesame Street, for example, Sesame Street has tackled subject matters, like tragedies and stuff like that. They have done that for many years because they know exactly how to handle a certain subject matter. They know how to work it and see how well it works with a certain plot. And, with Maria having Gabby, that is a prime example of how good TV shows can handle stuff. But nothing can handle anything better than Sesame Street. And I mean, I personally really like that Sesame Street can handle certain subject matters in TV shows. And they sometimes do repeats of it in the newer seasons as we progress because they want to give maybe more insight on the subject to the kids. Honestly, kids will not understand, but adults will definitely understand. If you look at adults, they'll definitely understand. But to kids, they're obviously not going to get it, and they're obviously going to be confused or unsure of it, which is why you rarely get to see pregnancy. I mean, it's a suggestive subject matter. Well, not really. Like, it's not really suggestive as, violence or, mature subject matters. You don't get to see that in kids' shows because honestly, well, I mean, you get to see some sci-fi violence in some kids' shows or movies, but it's not like blood, guts violence, if you get what I mean. But with pregnancy, it's definitely a treat when people who happen to want to have dreams of having kids or someday, which I have those dreams as to wanting to have a child myself, maybe more children, like at least 2 to 3 kids. That's how many I do want to have. And the subject matter of pregnancy, I think it has done in other shows like soap operas, for example. I mean, soap operas, that is really common. You get to see pregnant characters is soap operas because, soap operas are mainly for adults, like it's for older people, like adults, for example. It's for people who are much older because honestly, some soap operas involve, violence. I mean, not all of them do, but some of them do involve some violence, and some of them involve, a pregnant character losing a child via miscarriage or something. Honestly, while it's still sad, I still personally really thought that the pregnancy aspect was handled really well with children in TV shows. I mean, how rare is it to see that in kids' shows? It's very rare, but it is a treat for those who are, liking the idea of pregnancy. Now, I'm definitely have to say, for those who like the idea of pregnancy and want to have a kid someday, you definitely will have to really, really see more and dive more depth into it, if you will. Now, I know this discussion isn't really too long because I just wanted to, give out what I do know. But if there is something that I'm missing and did not explain about it in this well, in this video, please let me know what it is in the comments below. Like as always, I'm the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload because you guys will not miss an upload if you do that. If you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, link to my Twitter account will be in the About page section. If you guys want to go follow me on DeviantArt, link to my DeviantArt will be in the About page section. And as if you're interested, you guys can go follow my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, as links to those will also be in the About page section, so you guys can go check those out if you want. As always, if I'm missing something about this, please let me know what it is in the comments below. And I know this discussion isn't very long. That is because that's just pretty much all I can think of. But if there's anything else I'm missing, you guys can let me know in the comments below. So as always, I want to say thank you so much for watching today's video. And like always, roll the outro because I'm out.